Hey, hello everyone. My name is Devin Adams. I'm a Fortinet instructor for Dynamic Worldwide Training here in Tempe, Arizona. And I record these videos for my peeps that have taken my class. And yeah, one of the questions we got last week was about the whole SD-WAN, IPsec, MPLS failover. And this is a series of videos, and I realize I need to wrap this thing up so I can move on with life. So, anyways, so in our last videos, we got the DC, right, and the headquarters connected through an MPLS point-to-point. All right, but we also utilized a VPN tunnel for a redundancy. So if for some reason this MPLS connection becomes trash, right, it automatically failed over and used the VPN tunnel. So now everything up to that point that was recorded on those previous videos, we could keep on doing that for these additional WAN interfaces, right? We just have to throw more VPN tunnels at it to the DC. If we wanted another WAN connection, we'd make additional tunnels. It'd just be a lot of work, but it'd be the same process just repeated over. All right, but there's a real big piece of the pie that's missing in our topology, and that's our poor little New York office here. It's a branch office, and what makes this thing special is, it's not hosting any resources. It's just consuming resources that it needs both on the headquarters side and also on the DC. Well, in this video, I'm just going to focus, because I really don't like keeping these very long. We're just going to focus on getting access between the New York City and the headquarters FortiGates. All right, so and we're going to add that to the New York City's SD-WAN, because in the earlier videos we threw a single circuit on that SD-WAN interface, so we could future-proof the ability to add more to it down the road if we needed so. All right, so let's do it. Let's go ahead and complete our topology here, okay? So I'm going to go into my PC here on the New York side, and I'm going to set that up, all right? So the first thing we need to do is to create the VPN tunnel itself, all right? We cannot use the wizard because it can't be referenced by anything when it's being added to the SD-WAN. So we're going to come here, we're going to say create new, all right? Custom, and we're going to say to headquarters, to HQ, all right? And in our lab environment, we're using a make-believe IP address of 10.200 to be our public, all right? If it wants to go ahead and create itself. It's never that easy, right? I think my VNC viewer died there. Okay, that was a little weird. Let's try that again. Here we go. Let's see here. So we'll say custom to to HQ. We'll hit next. Yeah, that was a total glitch in just my Firefox. So, and now this is going to be the public IP address of one of our headquarters WAN interfaces. So 10.200.1.1, all right? And we only have one WAN over here in New York. Okay, we do not need that transversal, and we'll do a pre-share key. It wouldn't hurt if we left that on, but might as well just turn it off. And then I'm also going to leave my quick mode selectors to quad 0. All right. Now we have that side of the tunnel done. Okay, but before we move over to the New York side, let's go ahead and just finish it. All right, so let's go over here. And nope, I lied. So the next thing we're going to do is put the VPN management IP addresses on the IPsec tunnel. So if you remember from the previous videos, these are going to be used for things like health check or for any traffic that's being generated from the FortiGates or to the FortiGates directly. All right, so we have some control over what IP addresses are coming from. So we'll just use our 172.16.2.4 on this side. No, you know what? I will do 5 on this side and 4 on the other side. And that was the first 3 octets I said was going to stay as our management VPN stuff. So make more sense here in a second. So 172.16.2.4 with the /32, and we'll make that pingable. All right. There we go. And now that it has an IP address, let's go ahead and add it to our SD-WAN. So we're going to go to SD-WAN. Okay, and we're going to say add, and we're going to add that to HQ, and we're going to pass it off to that other side, 172.16.2 slash, not slash, but just a 4. There we go. We'll hit apply. All right. And now we need to go do the other side of the tunnel. All right. So let's go over to our headquarters side. We'll log into our FortiGate. All right. Just wanted to make sure my LDAP bind still worked. Nice. All right, so we're going to go to VPN. We're just going to do the exact same thing, just opposite direction. So IPsec tunnel, create new, and we'll call this 2 NYC. All right, custom. Hit next. All right, and our make-believe public IP address is .7. All right, so 10.200.7.1. And we're going to leave out of WAN 1. There we go. All right. Don't need NAT. Pre-shared key. And we need to make sure our quad zeros. Okay. That should be all right. And then we're going to go up to network interfaces and put on that administration. See how my 1 to the DC was a 2 to 1. This one's 1, the other side's 2. That's why I stayed within that subnet to kind of try to keep things equal here. So we'll say 172.16.2 with a 4, and the other side is 172.16.225/32. All right. Then we'll say ping. Okay. Cool. Cool. Let's go ahead and add it to the SD-WAN itself now that we have an IP address. Okay. And so we'll say add New York City. And we're going to pass traffic off to 172.16.2.5, which is the other side. All right. Now, in theory, that should be enough for us to at least be able to ping through that VPN tunnel, all right, using our management IP addresses. So here goes nothing. Let's go ahead and try to ping New York from headquarters. So we'll do an execute ping, all right, 172.16.2.5. And as you can see, our VPN tunnel was successful. Now, that does not necessarily mean that any traffic's passing through it. It just means that the VPN tunnel is up and the VPN tunnels can ping each other. All right. So we still need firewall rules and all that jazz. All right. So for starters, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So let's start on one side and then we'll do the other. So for starters here, we need to make sure that the New York side can have a interface check because we always need those performance. Look at that, port 2's down. Why is port 2 down? Squirrel. 1, 2. See how cool SD-WAN is? Everything was working, and I didn't realize that one of my net term boxes didn't come up properly. All right, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Where was I? That's right. We need to make sure we have some kind of performance SLA. So right now we have it going to the resource that's in the DC. All right, but now we're going to just create a real quick QoS, because remember, we're going to have multiple interfaces here. We just have one for the example for something that's pingable inside of that New York office, which I'm going to use the interface of the FortiGates, which I know that has ping access. And here, the only way to get to New York City is going to be through our VPN tunnel itself. Okay, so it's as easy as that. All right, now this should not work. All right, this should not work. So let me hit F5. All right, and the reason why is because remember the VPN management IP address hasn't been allowed through the firewall over on this side. All right, so let's go ahead and do that so our health check at least works. Okay, so let's go over to our firewall policy and objects and allow the management side to get there. Okay, so we're going to say create new, and we're going to say from HQ, and the interface is going to be coming from our SD-WAN, popping out into our LAN. All right, the source has to have either a you know what? I just made an executive decision. I'm just going to do a /16 and call it internal traffic. So internal subnet, and it will say if the first two octets belong to or start with 1010, allow it. And this way, if for some reason we need to initiate traffic from headquarters to New York, maybe if we're doing like admin stuff, we can, because normally, guys, there's really nothing that is being provided in New York that we need to initiate traffic for, but we're just going to have both directions here just to future-proof it. All right. So there it is. And of course, it's going to bug me that I didn't color it because I had a coloring convention that green was IP addresses, okay? But I'm also going to come in here and do the management VPN. And I know that I'm going to have multiple VPNs down the road, so I'm just going to use a /24 for the management VPN. So I'm going to say VPN. We'll have it purple, okay? And we'll say if it begins with these first 3 octets, it's VPN management. And they can pop out and test something like an interface or something like that if they need to. Okay, there we are. And we'll have both rules just to get it out of the way. All right, so if it's coming from here and it's destined for something on our internal or on our New York City subnets, allow it to happen. And do we need natting? We do not. Okay, so, oh, of course, services need to be accepted. All right, good times. All right, now with that one policy up, we should be good to go. All right, so, but just because we're here and that is turned off, why don't we go ahead and do our due diligence and flip that on its heel. All right, so I'm just going to come in here, I'm going to clone the reverse, and I'm going to say to HQ. All right, to HQ. All right, looks good. Okay, and then enable the policy. Kind of getting ahead of myself, but I just thought while I was here. Now if we hop back over to our headquarters office and we hit refresh, that link should be up. And now that that link is up, we should be able to write the SD-WAN rule. All right, boom, look at that. Easy peasy. Okay, that should have said QoS New York, but whatever. Okay, now we can write the SD-WAN rule. So this is where we're going to say, hey, you know what? If you're going to New York City, all right, coming from our LAN, okay, going to somewhere in New York. We don't have a New York one. 40 duck. Anyways, all right, here we go. So let's do our NYC. And honestly, I could have supernetted it too. I'm just trying to be specific here. So NYC underscore subnet. Maybe I'll make a quick video on how to do address groups to clean this up. Here we go. So 10.10.30/24. All right. Going to New York City. I want you to always use to New York City because right now that's the only way to get there. All right. Using what? The QoS. We'll say okay. So now the firewall rule is there. All right. But we need to put it above our more general one. Okay. And if we just stop here for a moment and really take a look at what's happening here, guys, our SD-WAN rules are saying if you're coming from our LAN subnet and you're trying to get to the DC, Always pick these two interfaces because that's how you can get there, either through this VPN tunnel or through the MPLS connection. Now, to get to New York, though, we only have one tunnel, and that's the only way to get there. All right, so now we could build in full redundancy where it goes down the MPLS and also through up maybe another connection that we do down the road, but right now we're just going to keep it simple. All right, so even though that's done here, guys, we still need the firewall policies. So let's go over to our policy and objects and make sure that they're all there. Okay, and then we'll complete the side on the New York side. So here we have LAN going to the DC subnet, all right? And this is called 2DC MPLS. But if you really look at it, this is saying that anything that's coming from our headquarters go out the SD-WAN. Okay, so really all we need to do to allow that is to come here and simply add the New York office subnet too. All right, and it will pick the right interface because the SD-WAN is going to be writing those rules. Okay, same thing here. So the SD-WAN popping out into LAN 6 for us to get resources, we just simply have to add in the New York office. All right, there we go. Okay, so that should be it on the headquarters side. We got the VPN rules, or not the VPN rules, we got the firewall policy rules, we have the SD-WAN rules, we have the SD-WAN SLA, and we also have the VPN tunnel. All right, now back to our other side of the rainbow here. It looks like we also have it to headquarters from headquarters, right? So but we never wrote the SD-WAN rules. So let's do that, because remember, that's what's going to also be responsible for things like the routing. So let's go over to our network and let's go to our SD-WAN rules. Okay. And right now it's just using anything and everything. Now I don't want that VPN tunnel to be used for internet access. So I'm just going to create one rule that just says internet. And this way I can eventually pick out rules that say, hey, if you just want to go to the internet, go out our WAN port. And once we have multiple WAN ports, we can add them to our QoS internet policy here. All right, so this will keep traffic at least from trying to be distributed out that VPN tunnel. Now we're going to write another rule, but before we do that, we need a performance SLA. All right, so let's go here, and I'm just going to say QoS HQ. All right, now this is going to be a server on the inside of our headquarters, and this DC1 actually is an IIS server. I've never used HTTP, but I don't see why we couldn't. So we'll try it out. All right. I forgot the participants, which is awesome. Sorry about that, guys. So here we go. There we are. That should be a little better. And now that we have that, let's see if that's even going to work. Let me hit refresh here just to make sure it's actually hitting it, which it is. All right, nice. Okay, we can now write our SD-WAN rule, and we can say, hey, you know what? If and we'll say to headquarters, and we'll say if you're coming from the New York office and you want to go somewhere in our internal subnet, in other words, 1010, and I did that because further down the road, guys, we're going to add that DC web server too. Okay, I want you to go ahead and use the HQ. All right, and also use the QoS HQ. We'll hit OK. And guys, technically speaking, that should be it. We should be able to get to the IIS server here from New York. All right, so let's try it out. Are you guys ready? I'm so nervous. No, I'm not really. Okay, here we go. And there you guys go. We now have access to the New York or not New York, the headquarters resources. Okay, but the real trick is, do we have access from headquarters to New York? All right, so I don't know. Let's go ahead and test it. And the only way really to test it is to pull out a terminal and ping the bloody thing. So ping 10, 10, 3, 2, 5, 4. Yeah, we can get to New York from both directions. So there you guys go. I'm going to leave it right there. All right. I'll record another video someday down the road. Like I said, I really want to wrap this up. But in this video, we were able to join New York City and headquarters together by a VPN tunnel using the SD-WAN. All right. Now in the next video, we're going to add a tunnel from New York to the DC. Okay. And then after that, maybe we can't see how fault tolerance we can make this. I'm not too sure how far we're going to go, but I think once we actually get New York City talking directly to the DC, we're going to be in good shape. So I'm going to stop it right there for the sake of keeping it short, though. And guys, I'll let you know when I get the next one recorded. So hopefully someone found that helpful somewhere. So all right, until next time.